What is up, YouTube? It's Tasha Elements coming at you with a brand new video for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In today's discussion, we are going to be talking about the brand new 7-star raid, the Farigiraf raid. And we're going to be breaking down all the content, all of the abilities, all the movesets, and what are the arsenals that a Farigiraf can withhold. And then this domination of him being an opponent threat. And as my comparisons and my aspiration and my acknowledgement, I want to give you guys an opportunity for you guys to understand these mechanics and what you guys have to do in order to be able to annihilate this Farigiraf. So let's get started. So Farigiraf learns 3 abilities, right, and has 1 hidden ability. However, though, these last couple raids we haven't been having the Pokemon's hidden ability, which has been crazy. So just stay optimistic that we might have another opportunity to get another ability. So Kachu, what it does is Kachu causes the Pokemon to reuse it and already consume a berry at the end of the next turn. However, though, we're not going in there with citrus berries, so this specific ability is very irrelevant to us, so we don't have to really worry about that at all. Armor Tail right here can get really confusing here because if we're going in there with steel types, because it's a fairy Terra, it would have been way much more better if it was an actual psychic Terra, but knowing that we're going to go in there with this can be really annoying because Armor Tail prevents the opponent from using any moves like have that high priority, such as quick attack. So no sucker punch, no bullet punch, any priority moves, it pretty much resists that. So if you go in there with Scizors, which is probably the dominant #1 option that we're all thinking of, and I think honestly, psychologically and just IQ wise, I think Scizor is going to be the best pick. However, though, you can't use moves like Bullet Punch, so that covers that. So be very optimistic that that could be a concerned thing. However, though, it also has this hidden ability, Zap Zipper, and what does Zap Zipper do? It boosts up an attack when getting hit by a grass smooth, and however, we're not going in here with any grass Pokemon, or we're even going to hit this Pokemon with an actual grass smooth. However, though, I'm here to educate you guys, so if you guys did not know these abilities, that's exactly what it has. His base stats are really bulky. I played against this in Trick Room teams, VGC teams, and this guy is very freaking bulky here, so his HP is at 120, respected attacks at 90, defense at 70, special attack at 110, special defense is at 70, speed's at 60, so it's really slow. However, though, his special attack should be very concerning and very respected here because it can set up a lot of moves, and that right there can be very frightening. His defense and special attack is really, equally the same. However, though, I would state, though, if you want to go in there with physical attackers, I think it's your best bet because it sets up more on the special side. So your best bet is going in here physical, FYI, and that's exactly what we're going to be building around overall. Of course, we're going to have a couple of special attackers, but I'm going to throw this out and let's show the moveset what it can possibly learn. So we are going into the Farigiraf raids, right? And these are moves that just essentially what it does while it levels up base stats from his Pokemon level ups. Has Power Swap, Guard Swap, Atonish, Tackle, Growl, Confusion, Assurance Stomp, Side Beam, Agility, which I could possibly essentially seek so we can boost up his speed and boost up his accuracy. So if he really wants to play really defensively right there, Agility could be really, really good. It'll be hard to hit the Pokemon overall. Double hit, Twin Beam, which could be really, really crucial if it sets up a nasty plot. And this is what is concerning here, guys, because when it sets up a nasty plot, you're raising your stats by 1, you're raising your special attack by 2 stages every single time you're using a nasty plot. So that can be very concerning, and we got ways around it so we can, verify that so it doesn't give us too much of an effect status. Also, Psychic can be very crucial here. It has a percentage of lowering your special defense by like 25%, and that can be really crucial when you have nasty plots. It could have physical moves. I repeat, it can have coverage moves with physicality like Crunch, so it can lower your defense, and that can be very concerning there because you're taking defensive drops instead of, special defense drops. Also, another rundown here, what it can learn is Low Kick, which could be, very concerning if you go again. We know we're in there with Dark types. Fairy weaknesses are only coverages by Darks and only coverages by Steels and only coverages by Poisons. And we have a lot of coverage around that based on, the mechanics that we're working on and what we're building here for that, state. So, however, though, just be very concerned for Low Kick, because Low Kick can be very concerning here. Bulldoze can hit like a truck, and the accuracy is 100%. So, however, though, the user speed will lower his speed, so we're going to always be outclassing it no matter what. So, if we could Mud Slap this guy and get it to a -6 Mud Slap, I think that would be sensationally phenomenal. And we have Pokemons that are so goated for this raid that will keep this guy staying and keep this guy from, even, setting up on us at all. Yeah, it's Store Power, which is very, very concerning here. If you do not know what Store Power does, every time you set up a Calm Mind, every single time, you use, a nasty plot and you're raising up your special attack and your special defense, this thing has a Nuke Bomb sensation where, you constantly continue to use Store Bomb. It's going to continuously to Nuke Bomb. It's just like Rage Fist. And it just literally just stacks up. So store power here could be very frightening here. So this is something that we really got to be very careful of. Also, it has moves like body slam that has the potential to, like, paralyze. It's a physical guy, so, and also it could probably be a body presser too as well. This is where it gets really tricky here and get really concerning here. It can set up moves like light screen and reflect. This is why I'm like, optimistic about going against this, because this, if it sets up a reflect or a light screen, we've seen Pokemon that have gone reflected light screens. So we just usually just break it. So once we break it, the shields will go off, and then right there from the point on out, we don't have to really worry about that situation anymore, because it reflected light screens last for 5 turns. So if we have a brick breaker on our team, we just literally just obliterate that. No more setups for you, buddy. So another thing, it could possibly learn Thunder Wave, which could paralyze us right there, and also learn Stomping Tantrum here, which could be very concerning. And it can also show like moves like Shadow Ball that has a percentage of lowering a special attack, special defense right there, and it's a special attacking mon. So it could definitely have that too as well. It also could learn like the moves like Hyper Voices as well. It could double up and triple up on multiple Pokemons in a raid. That's what Hyper Voice does. The movesets it could possibly will most likely have is Calm Mind, which is going to raise up his special attack and special defense. So if we're talking about movesets that it's most likely going to have, I can 100% to 95% confirm that it most likely will have a physical move, which will be Crunch to lower our defense, Nasty Plot to set up, his special attack, Psychic, because it's a Psychic Pokemon, so he wants to have double coverage moves of it being a Psychic type, so Psychic will do a lot more damage on his arsenal. Bulldoze, I can see it happening. We've been seeing Bulldoze a lot. It can also learn like moves like Earthquake, which can be very concerning here, and I can see it potentially having that. I don't know what it is, but a lot of these 7-star raids, Pokemon just love the move Earthquake, so we most likely will probably see that, so just be optimistic about that too as well. It has moves like Iron Head, which it could possibly have. Skill swap, if it wants to be annoying, stealing your own ability. Gravity, which is as well. And it has Expanding Force, which can be very concerning here. And has Hyper Beam, which does stab boosted damage because it is going to do some damage. And these are the moves that I can see essentially having, even like Foul Play. And this is what I feel more comfortable with. That's his arsenal. So these are his movesets right here, guys. If you guys want to take a look at what it actually learns, this is exactly what's going to have. So we got to build around this. So, why not just build around it? So without further ado, let's get straight into the builds. So first things foremost, I want to sit here and acknowledge Scizor, man. It's one of my favorite Pokemons. The way to evolve it, actually, you need a Metal Coat from Scyther, and you're able to trade it. Once you trade that, you become a Scizor. I love him, man. He's one of my favorite Pokemons. I think he's one of the most goated Pokemon ever. Typing Bug Steel. You want to have the Tire typing Steel because the essential weakness to Fairy type Pokemons is Poison, Steel, and Dark. So you want to have those 3 essential, mons that have those type of Terra types, so you can actually annihilate this raid. So my Terra typing on this was a Steel. Held item here is Shell Belt, an item to be held by a Pokemon. The holders restores its little HP to itself every time it inflicts damage with an attack. So this is really, really goated here. Movies and IVs and EV sets you want to have is an Adonamate Nature. I repeat, Adonamate Nature with an Adonamate Mitt is very crucial here, so you can max out your attack, and that's exactly what we're going for. Max attack with max special defense with an Adonamate Nature. 26 IVs and EVs invested into the attack, and 6 EVs and IVs into the special defense. And the reason why, because it has a lot more special attacking moves. It has more special attacking moves than it has physical moves, so we're looking based upon that, and we want our Scizors to stand withdraw a lot. Also, his defense is pretty much essential. So the remainder IVs and EVs you want to throw in there are into your defense. So for the last 4 remaining EVs, I repeat, the last 4 remaining EVs you want to throw onto your defense, so for a little bit of bulk, and this right here can be very crucial. So max attack, max special defense with Adonamate Nature. Also, these move setups right here I think is super freaking powerful, and I think it's so freaking goated because these moves right here are going to be very crucial for this raid. So right off the rip, you want to set up a light screen so you can have protection. It's a reflected barrier that will legitimately keep you from getting hit by psychics, foul plays, man, twin beams, and all these special attacking moves. So it will resist all that when you have that light screen going up. It'll protect you from those type of damage, especially from nuke bomb damages too as well. Right off the rip after that, you want to set up a Focus Energy. Focus Energy here is very crucial here because it has a chance of landing a critical hit. And every single time in raids, it's very essential to have this because if your Pokemon is able to actually learn this, you have the opportunity to land a critical hit. So imagine landing critical hits to the point where RNG is in your favor. I repeat, RNG is in your favor, and you're landing critical hits. You'll start seeing that shield literally demolish by itself, but just landing critical hits. Metal Claw here is very important here. Base power is 50, accuracy is 95. It's not 100%. You can switch it to Iron Head, guys, if you feel a lot more comfortable. I'm going with this because of its hitting ability that we'll be explaining it to you guys in a couple of seconds. Metal Claw here is target is racked with steel claws. This may also boost the user's attack. And this right here is crucial because you can just literally just spam Metal Claw instead of just spamming the Sword Dance. However, though, you want to get at least 1 or 2 Sword Dances up so Metal Claw can legitimately finish that essential attacking Sword Dance boost. And that's what I really love about Metal Claw, that this thing right here will legitimately raise up your stats, and you're pretty much giving yourself an attacking boost every time you're essentially using it. So which is really crucial in my standpoint. So Light Screen for defense, focus energy for critical hits, and Metal Claw to raise your attacks. So imagine raising your attacks up and getting focus energy up. You're going to be doing some much more hard and heated damage. Also, his ability right here is Technician. Powers up weak moves so the Pokemon can deal more damage with them. So look at this. Metal Claw's base power is 50. Essentially, that move is going to go up to at least a 380 to a 400 attack with these focus energies, with these Sword Dances, and the potential chance of getting, an attack boost specifically by Metal Claw. And the ability Technician that can deal more damage while you're using a power-based move by 40 or 50, that thing is just gonna stack up. I resemble technically a Furry Cutter, like a Rage Fish. It just keeps on stacking up. Metal Claw here is very freaking important here, so I highly recommend Scizor. I think Scizor comfortability here I think is gonna be good. If you guys want to have preparations, you want to have an understanding of bringing something in so you guys are not lost in the beginning of the raid, this is something right here that I highly recommend. Let's get into the next build. Next build, I want to throw out this King Gambit. Held item here is Shell Belt, an item to be held by a Pokemon. The holder restores a little bit of HP to itself every time it inflicts damage with an attack. Here is very important here, and I like it. You want to have the ability Defiant. I think Defiant here is very crucial and very, goated. If it has, the move Crunch and it lowers our defense, well, guess what? We are going to be getting an attack boost with a stat boost sharply from our actual Defiant ability. And every time we're getting a stat lower, if it hits us with Bulldoze and he's lowering his speed, well, guess what? We're going to get a Defiant boost right there too as well. Yes, we are a dark type, and ground type moves are very scary. However, though, we have a way around this to actually win this raid, and if it comes down to it, this is the way that we're going to do it. So let's go into the movesets. Here it goes. Taunt. Taunt here is very important. So if you see something like super effective that's going to hit you, like Earthquakes, Bulldozes, you want to taunt it. Every 3 turns, you're going to taunt it so it can hit you with something different, something that you're immune to and something that, you can't get hit by. So, FYI, Scizor and King Gambit are immune to everything that, Farigiraf has. So, these are the best 2 options I feel like by heart that are going to be really great for this raid. So, you want to taunt it every 3 turns. So, right off the rip, you want to taunt. Second, you want to Sword Dance. And third, you want to Iron Head. Iron Head right here is very important here because it also makes the target flinch. Also, RNG in our favor could possibly happen. I was doing a 6-star raid for a Mamoswine and it hit me with Icicle Crash. So flinches can actually work in raids. And I was flinched, I think, about 2 or 3 times in the raid. I was like, why am I getting flinched? So there, foremost, you have to legitimately think about that optimistically. So Iron Head here is very important, and it hits like a truck. I see King Gambit running these, dude, on Fairy Terror types, dude, especially when it comes to VGCs to have that, coverage, of killing like the Floettes and stuff like that in VGC. So Iron Heads right here is very crucial, and you have a potential chance of actually landing a critical freaking hit right here, which is super important. Sword Dance here is really important here, so you can get an attack boost as well. You want to set up at least 1 or 2 or 3 Sword Dances. You want to get at least your hat trick up, right, with 3 Sword Dances, essentially, and start spamming some Iron Heads, dude, and start resisting all his stuff by taunts. I think that's really crucial here for this raid, and I think it'll be really good. We went with the moveset Metal Claw 2 as well, because this also may boost up your user's attack too. Base power, however, is 50 here for this situation, and this is really freaking good too as well. So if you could raise your Defiant ability and also raise up your attacking ability, Metal Claw might even be the better option in this raid, but we'll have to see what it has. And flinches here can be very more important offensively and defensively. So if you can get a couple Metal Claws off, all respectfully, and taunt it and boost up your attack, and then set up at least 1 Sword Dance, you can start spamming Iron Heads so you can make sure that you prioritize on flinching that Pokemon. Movies, IVs, and EV sets, you want to have 26 into HP, 26 into attack with a Adonamant Mint. I repeat, Adonamant Nature. And you want to have, an Adonamant Nature on that as a mint. Make sure you guys buy that and a dominant nature on the attack. The last 4 remaining IVs and EVs, you want to put it into the special defense. That's why there's like a triangle angle right there in the corner where you can see the HP and attack and the special defense going that way, because like I said, his defense already is essentially goated, and his defense is pretty high at 276. So if we're going to get hit by ground moves, I think we're pretty much going to be taking it really realistically well, and it has a lot of special attacking moves, more special attacking guys more than physical, so we're building around both, FYI, and this is why I think that King Gambit is a sleeper. I would love to use Sucker Punch, but priority moves can't work, but I think this is really crucial here, and I think King Gambit is Chef's Kiss. Let's get into the next build. Next build is going to be Mew with a Terra typing bug. Bug is very essential here, so you pretty much resist everything. I repeat, once you Terralize into a Mew, you pretty much resist everything. Mew, I think, is the best supporting Pokemon and the best supporting Pokemon of all time. Max HP, max attack. This is what you're going to have on the specific move. You're going to also have a lot of supports. Every single Mew is going to have essentially a different type of assets of what you're going to want to use just based on, you know, of what Mew you want to build. I feel very comfortable here because this Mew has the move coaching. Also, Mew has the expressiveness to learn so many TMs, which I think is so substantially awesome. Mew has the opportunity to learn so many TMs, probably every TM in the game, realistically. Coaching here is very important, especially if you want to go in there with Scizors, you know, and King Gambits. You want to give them an attacking boost, and automatically you want to give them a defense boost. So right off the rip, you're going to want to start off with a light screen. Hands down, get that barrier up and get that barrier going. Second turn, you want to throw a reflect, which is very crucial here, so you can play defensively as crazy and have your light screens up and your reflex up, which is very crucial here. And then you can just start lowering his special attack. Struggle Bug is very crucial here because it can go through shields and it can go through without the shields, which is really important here. So this Mew right here, I think, is probably the best supporting Pokemon that I have in my eyes. I think that is super goated here because you're raising up your stats on your defense, even yourself, and your attack too as well. You're Struggle Bugging to lowering the special attack too as well on the opposing Pokemon. Light screens and reflex right here are very important here too as well. You can go in there with a max HP, max defense Mew, or you can go in there with a max HP, max special defense Mew. I think special defense and defense already, I think they're very crucial here, and I think they're really essential. 26 IVs and EVs into the attack, 26 EVs and EVs into the HP, and the last 4 remaining EVs are going to be into special defense and into defense as well. So 2 of each essentially going to be on the defensive end and on the special defense end. Make sure you finish those last remaining EVs, which are very crucial and very important to be able to max out this bad boy. Another Pokemon that I highly recommend, let's get straight into it, is going to be Clefairy. I mentioned this Pokemon so many in my videos. I think this Pokemon is just so goated. I think this Pokemon in general is probably one of the best supports out there. Held item, Eviolite. An item to be held by a Pokemon. This mysterious evolutionary bump boosts the defense and special defense stats when a Pokemon skin can still evolve, which is crucial here because you're pretty much getting a defense boost every time you bring this bad boy in. Also, his ability is Friend Guard here, which gives it another ability boost to his defense and special defense, which is really crucial here. Max HP, max defense with bold nature you want to have in here. 26 IVs and EVs invested into the HP and 26 IVs and EVs invested into the defense. The 4 last remaining IVs and EVs are going to be invested into the special defense so we can have some coverages on the special defense end. So make sure you guys are locked and loaded. For movesets here, if it does have physical moves, which I think Chilling Water is perfected here, and I think it's really crucial here because it can go through shields, it can go through outer shields, and you can just prioritize on building your Terra that way. It's very important here because you can build your Terra by just lowering his attack, which is really crucial. Also, like I mentioned earlier in the video, right, that respectfully, it might have reflected light screen, and right there can be very annoying. You can either taunt it, yes, you can taunt it, but having something that can break it instantly right away is probably going to be at your better advantage, so all your other Pokemon can set up respectfully and realistically just like shit on that mon, like literally kill that mon. So I think Clefairy here is really good. You can have Chilling Water to lower its attack. You have Brick Break to break through, you know, reflex and light screens. So if it, you know, essentially your light screen reflex is up for 5 turns, the moment you Brick Break it, the moment you break an actual reflector light screen, it is absolutely gone. and it's nowhere to be existed. So FYI, keep optimistic that. Helping Hand here is very important. If you want to give your Scissors, even your Mews, even your King Gambits some help to doing some much needed damage, I think this is very important here for this raid. I think it's really crucial. Life Dew here is really goated because Life Dew actually heals not only yourself, but it also heals your allies. So if you're going in there with randos and you see them struggling, you can actually help them get their HP back, so you can actually get more resistance on saving your heals from like your defense boosts, your heal cheers, and all of that, and your attacks and your defensive boosts. You can help yourself that from without using those with Life Dew, which here is very important. So Helping Hand your teammates, Life Dew your teammates, break through those shields, and Chilling Water to make sure that this Pokemon is at a -6 at all times, which I highly recommend. Another Pokemon that I highly recommend is Goldingo. Yes, the sleeper Goldingo. I think Goldingo right here is very underrated, and I think Goldingo is finally going to make his appearance rate back again. We've seen Goldingo in the last videos of mine where we brought him out, and we've one-shotted a lot of Pokemon, and I repeat, one-shotted a lot of Pokemon here. So we might even have a method where we can one-shot Pokemon. As long as you have a Goldingo with choice specs, you're going to be able to one-shot anything. What does choice specs do? It maximizes your special attack, and it triples up all your special attacking moves. So it pretty much gives you a triple special attacking move. And this right here is very important because the Berserkers with the focus sash. Berserkers, honestly, all it needs to have is the ability Steely Spirit. Hear me out. If it sets up Reflect Light Screen, this is why Brick Break here is really important here, and I think right here, Brick Break is really good here. So one essentially, Berserker can Brick Break through the shields, and then after that, we can see 3 of the opposite Berserkers are going to Fate Tears. So once it Fate Tears 3 Fate Tears, we're going to get it at a -3, and the ability here for Berserker is right here is super crucial. It has Steely Spirit. Powers up all steel type Pokemon and its allies. So if you're taking 3 essential Berserkers with their Steely Spirits, you're pretty much setting up a freaking Nuke Bomb Spirit Bomb by Goku himself. And you're pretty much giving your Steely Spirit power into the Goldingo's power, which is going to absolutely destroy that Pokemon in the first freaking turn. And the move you want to throw in there is Steel Beam, 140 base power. The accuracy is 95. If you're able to get every single Steely Spirit off and every single Fake Tears off, or you can go it with Make It Rain. Make It Rain here is very important here because it's 100% accurate. I say just go with this, unless you want to just go in there flex with Steel Beam. Steel Beam and Make It Rain is going to be absolutely dominant, but hear me out. If you don't want to go that route and you just want to go in there, just to tough it out, you want to go in there and experience the raid, essentially just to enjoy the raid, well, this is the moveset you want to have here for your Goldingo. Max special attack, max special defense, the last IVs and EVs remaining into the HP. Ability is good as gold. A body of a pure solid gold gives the Pokemon full immunity to other Pokemon status moves, which right here can be very crucial. Nasty Plot here is very important here because what does Nasty Plot do? I said it legitimately raises up your Pokemon stats by 2 stages, which you're going to get a special attack and boost. Also, it has, setup moves probably like Calm Mind. But however, though, if we can Flash Cannon it, has a 35% chance of lowering the special defense. So if we can, this could be essentially like our Acid Sprayer. We're constantly going to be like Slash Cannon it like crazy, which is very important here. Iron Head here is physical. It's not a special attacking move, but I have it here for coverage. So if we have to like rely on some, flinches and then go back into spamming Flash Cannons, I think it's going to be very crucial for this raid too as well. Light Screen here is very important too as well because, like I said, it reduces special attacking moves for 5 turns here, and I think it would be really crucial here if Goldingo has this because we're going against a lot of special attacking Pokemon, a lot of special attacks overall. So you want to have max special attack with special defense, and look at his special attack. The nature on here, FYI, the nature on here you want to have is a modest mint. I repeat, a modest mint nature is crucial for this Pokemon, and I think Goldingo is a very sleeper in here. I think Goldingo, respectfully, as long as you build Berserkers here, and you're able to one-shot it, you're fine. However, though, if the shield goes up right away, then there's no point of actually bringing the Berserkers here, FYI. If you're sticking with me, guys, through this video, I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It means the world to me, guys. You have no idea. We're on our way to 100 subscribers, and on YouTube and on TikTok we're at 3,000. We're at 3K, and on Twitch we're at 3,700. We're almost at 4 freaking grand guys on Twitch, and we constantly stream on Twitch every single day. So make sure you guys stay optimistic on that, and make sure you guys have these Pokemon builds ready, because I'm going to be ready to raid with you guys, which is super cool. We've been helping out so many people, guys, man, honestly, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So make sure you guys have this. However, though, we have another weakness. And another weakness is going to be poison. And we already seen this Pokemon in raids. We brought it to the Glamoria raids, and I want to sit here and throw this out here at the very, very end. I was going to put it at my last spot, but I wanted to show you guys the method for the Steely Spirits, which I think is going to be very crucial here. But however, though, we're going to show you guys the Goodras. The Goodras are so goated. If you haven't gotten one yet, please go ahead and get yourself a freaking Goodra here, man. I think Goodras here are very important here, man. And I think Goodras here overall are super goated. You can go in here with like actual max HP, max defense, or max HP, max special defense. The rundown on this Goodra specifically and respectfully is going to be the ability Shelled Armor. A hard shell protects it from Pokemon critical hits. So no matter what Farigiraf has, it can't critical hit us. It can't kill us with critical hits. You cannot critical hit us at all. And I think Goodra right here is the sleeper. I repeat, the sleeper for this raid, which I think is going to be absolutely essentially goated. Dragon Cheer here is very important, because if you go in there with at least 2 Goodras, at least you can have a special attacking Goodra, which will raise the stats of that Goodra, which was going to be really respectful here. It's going to be able to get critical hits. You're pretty much giving another dragon type a critical hit damage rate, which you're going to be essentially getting critical hits from the opposing Goodras that you're actually helping out here, which is really, really good. Chilling Water here is to lower the attack. Acid Sprays can go through shields, and Acid Sprays can lower special defense. As long as you're lowering that special defense, dude, and we're going in there with some special attackers, which could be very crucial for this race, respectfully. Shelter here, if you want to get, greedy, you want to throw up, your defensive buffs, you want to continuously, raising up your defensive stats, I think Goodra here is a sleeper for this raid. And that is a supporting Goodra for that matter. I want to show you guys an actual Goodra that's going to be actually goated, that could actually be really, really helpful for this raid too as well. Max special attack, max defense, it automatically has 336 in special defense. That's why I didn't touch the special defense. However, though, I put 4 remaining IVs and EVs into special defense. So max out the special attack, max out the defense, and the last 4 remaining EVs and IVs put it into the special defense. The ability Shell Armor speaks for itself. So imagine you have a supporting Goodra, and just respectfully, just a supporting Goodra. It gives you the opportunity to do flash cannon crits. Flash cannon crits, I think, are very essential, and I think very important, and should be very respected here, and should be talked about. Special flash cannons have the percentage chance of lowering a special defensive drop, and it's really crucial here. So magic acid spraying is flash cannon. I think Goodra here is going to be a sleeper, and I think Goodra here overall is going to be the best Pokemon besides Scizor and Gambit. Respectfully, I think Goodra, Scizor, and King Gambit are the best options, and as long as you build a Goodra, guys, I think you're going to be absolutely fine because of the ability Shell Armor. And I think in that situation, you don't have to really worry about anything else, and you have the understanding of, of having these abilities. I'm here to educate you guys, I'm here to love you guys, I'm here to respect you guys, and at the end of the day, amen, is here for all loving games. Make sure you guys know that this as well, because I want to throw this out too as well. To beat a 7-star fairy type raid for Farigiraf, raid in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you need the Pokemon that resist and ignore psychic normal, right? Coverages while exploring fairy structural weaknesses to steel poison types. King Gambit and Scizor are the #1 options. And this is Google-based stats, guys, that King Gambit and Scizor are the best options for this raid. Why King Gambit? It works to possesses powerful steels and dark typing that completely resist psychic moves. It takes minimal damage from normal type attacking moves when hitting back with super effective steel stab moves like Metal Claw. Scizor, why is it works? Great bug steel typing, naturally resists psychics, neutralizes fairy offense, and utilizes high damage steel types like Iron Head or Bullet Punch. But however, though, we're going in there with Iron Head and we're going in there with Metal Claws. We're not going in there with Bullet Punches at all. So pretty much this right here shows that we're able to beat it with these King Gambits and Scizors. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, guys, and I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.